Hey everyone, we're going to dive into Bitcoin today and all of the major cryptocurrency assets as we've broken our key support that we've predicted, and we're making sure that we're staying on the right side of the market. Who was telling you to, not believe in this move and that 200k was not coming? Yours truly, me. So if you want to continue to stay on the right side of the market, okay, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel down below if you haven't already, and like the video. So let's just get straight into it and dive straight in. So we spoke about 37k last week, and we were just predicting basically that we're breaking down from this bear flag, okay, retested some of these areas, and now we're just breaking lower, and that we are not expecting this move to stop. That's the take home point, is that when we got this massive move here and we correctively move to the upside, okay, that when we break down from this, it's likely going to be bigger than the previous corrective patterns that we've had before, okay? So I see downside from here to at least 30k, which we're less than 10% away, but the take home points from here is that 30k, okay, is very likely, okay, almost, let's not say a certainty, right? But the chances of us retesting this area is going to be strong. Now, I think that we will pick up support from here, okay? It might mean that we stall for a week or two or a month. I think that could be, or two. It could be quite possible. But even if you've managed to catch this move down to 30k, you've saved yourself quite a lot of money. But the ways that I see this playing out is we can potentially undercut this low here at about 28k, okay? And then maybe swing it back to the upside, create a bit of panic here for a few days, and then, getting back into that low 30s and maybe just create, we're going to look to see what patterns start to play out. Maybe we start to create some sort of corrective flag over here like this in a similar way that we have been doing. But overall, we're just creating lower highs, and basically smashing down at the lows and maybe creating some kind of descending triangle. So these are the sort of scenarios that I'm looking to play out from here, but I am looking for 30k to play some support here for Bitcoin and some of the other altcoins, but it's dropping a lot harder. So that's what I'm looking out for. But the most important thing for you guys to take home from this is, even though I am predicting and saying that we're going to move lower, part of the 4-year cycle, we've talked about all of the key momentum indicators and correlations to previous bear markets. I've lived through two bull markets, two bear markets. I've experienced this, okay? Is you have to know when to start flipping bullish, okay? And the sort of signs that we're looking for is over here, if we get some sort of really bad sentiment, then like I said, and just have a look at what some of these other YouTubers are doing, which, to be honest, have been a little bit criminal in my opinion. They have not they either are selling you out and are not telling you the truth, or they have their own agendas, and these people just do not know or have not learnt from their mistakes in the past, and they just believe that things are just going to go up forever, right? So I think that anywhere below 30k as the take-home point, right, is going to be the buy zone, and we're going to get some form of accumulation most likely. Now, we've spoken about that happening at the 200-day moving average, potentially having a 50% correction from the 200-day moving average, as well as the 200-week moving average, okay? So if we just get up the daily 200 moving average, we've spoken about before, whenever we've seen anywhere between like 45 to 60% corrections before, that puts us in some sort of significant buy zone or significant bottom, and that puts us somewhere between 20k and 25k. So things that we want to be looking out for. But you have to remember that when we reach the actual bottom and you're able to look at this back in hindsight, you probably have to realize that, one, you're not going to get the bottom, okay? That's very, very likely that it's not going to happen. But also, the bottom needs to make you feel like it's the bottom, okay? And what I mean by that is that even though prices are dropping, and you said that you were going to buy, you start to go, well, I'm not going to buy. I think prices are going to go even lower and get a bit greedier. And I got this 2018 bear market, to be honest, spot on. I called this as a descending triangle, and I thought that we were breaking down to 3k. Now, my problem back there, which I will not make the same mistake again, is that I did the hard bit, got the price, waited for the price, but didn't go heavy enough when we dropped lower, because I thought that potentially here this was some sort of potential flag to move lower, and that, you know, I was like, hey, look, maybe my 3,000 needs to get hit, or we need to hit a very specific level, and all I needed to do was basically buy in and around this region. So the take-home point that I want you to take home from is that anywhere below 30k, in my opinion, is going to be a massive buy opportunity, and that might go as low as $14,000, right? We have to wait and see how things play out, and I think that we either move down into here and you know, like correctively move like this, and then move and close down into that 24 mid 20,000 level area, and maybe we start to form some accumulation patterns down here, okay? Or we could potentially move down to 24 now and then maybe retest like this 30k level and then get a rejection and then move down into this 14k level. But the point is, okay, is that if you think Bitcoin is going to $200,000 somewhere in this box over here, right, then it doesn't matter. In the same way over here that you bought over at 25k, you buy at 20k, you buy at 14k, it doesn't matter. Anywhere over here, okay, will yield you massive profit into the future, okay? And even if you buy here at, like, say, $23,000, okay, and you think that it's going to 200k, you've made 800%, okay? Now, if you can get a better buy-in and average price, then great, okay? Because if you can get it as low as, say, 16k or whatever, then now you're making your multipliers 10x, 12x, and stuff like that, okay? So yeah, that's basically what we want to be looking out for, is that I'm expecting, not quite yet, is that when we get to a bottom, okay, we are going to see some sort of accumulation or patterns that are typically quite bullish at the bottom of, you know, at the bottom of a massive move to the downside. In the same way over here, we got an ascending triangle, okay, at the bottom of a capitulation move, okay, and then we moved up. And the same thing that we got last summer, we got a ascending triangle. How many times did I say that in the last video? This is an ascending wedge. This is a descending wedge, okay? So if we start to see some of these kind of patterns, or maybe an inverted head and shoulders, sorry if you can hear some squeaking in the background. If we maybe get some kind of, let's say, like, you know, inverted head and shoulders where we sort of take out a low and then start to do something like this, you know, that might be some sort of pattern to swing back to the upside. But don't get too greedy towards the bottom of this 30k level. If we start to break it, I think any time down there is going to be a good time to buy. Now, I think that a lot of the altcoins are still going to bleed harder, and it's still best to hold BTC, okay, whether you move lower or move higher, because I think the next move higher is likely going to be led by Bitcoin, and the move lower is going to protect you from the downside if you start holding all these altcoins. And we can see that the DXY has been rampaging. Again, it's actually moved on to higher prices since we spoke about last week, and our contention is that during this parabolic move, wherever this may stop, and we said that the next level maybe is about $113, is that we're looking for Bitcoin to put in its low, okay? It's not about like people going, oh, I can see that Bitcoin's holding really strong. It is holding strong, but you have to also realize that, you know, eventually during this move, usually Bitcoin puts in a significant low to the downside. And I'm not even going to talk about some of these altcoins that not only have I sort of scarily predicted to the absolute T and saved myself downside, and I hope you lot have saved yourself downside on that as we're about halfway through the video. If you think that Bitcoin is going to sub 30k and you want to scoop up cheap Bitcoin with me, and you want to know where I'm buying and follow my journey so that you can use it for your own purposes as well, go ahead and subscribe to the channel down below and like the video. That massively helps me out, and I'm going to be coming out with, like, I've got another 2 or 3 or 4 videos planned this week to really keep you up to date. So if you could do that, that would be massively appreciated. And without further ado, let's crack on. By knowing when to be in certain assets at different points in the market, right? And again, if we just have a little chop at the dominance, so that's the futures, and you can see here that you know, BTC is showing some strength here and holding these lows, and I am expecting these to break 48%. And again, you can look at these as areas of confluence. So once we start breaking this, okay, then altcoins can start to be a better risk reward play. So if we start to retest these areas over here, look for BTC to gain strength and momentum above that 48% level. So yeah, and then, you know, last thing as well, just to go through, is traditional markets getting absolutely hammered. We spoke about this last week, guys. Just look at the last 1 or 2 or 3 videos either in general or just about Bitcoin, and you can see that I pretty much try to outline this to you, get this through your minds as quick as possible. Okay, you know, you don't want to be selling into capitulation. Okay, should that happen, you want to be buying the fear once you've realized, like, somewhere up here that things are not looking right, you know, and you can take advantage of that next move. So I will be focusing on, you know, when to be, you know, making those buy positions, and when I'll be transitioning from my cash position into BTC to take advantage of the next wave. So yeah, that's essentially my update on Bitcoin. I think likely we're looking at about sub 30k to undercut these lows. Again, why would we come all the way down here to just form another base and then just move higher? It doesn't make sense to me. Take out the liquidity, okay? Everyone's fear is going to be here. How do you get cheap Bitcoin? Take out these lows, swing it down, hold it down for a few months, and then start at least retempting moves back to the upside. So that's basically, you have to think like a big player if you want to make money like a big player in this market. So yeah, and we've got this order block here at $14,000 as an all-time capitulation low for Bitcoin. So yeah, last thing I just wanted to tap into is, if we just talk about potential capitulation moves, should we get that, they can come in two forms, right? Is we can get these daily sort of capitulations that we got in, like, you know, in November 2012, December 2020. And then in the same year, earlier that year, May 2021, where you get these sharp days of, like, you know, minus 40, 35%, or the COVID low. Capitulations can happen like that. They don't have to, because we can get just continued selling in the same way that we did in 2018 November, where we see this move. This is obviously a capitulation move, breakdown from key levels, okay? And that wasn't necessarily over the course of like one day. Sure, we had some bad days and it was a rough 2, 3, 4 weeks to be holding if you were buying. However, you have to also note that you know, it didn't happen in a day, and it was higher volume. You can see here that, you know, once the selling started, it did pick up, but it took a little bit of a process, and it wasn't just like some kind of V-shaped recovery. We managed to consolidate at the bottom and then spring back up. So let's also look out for both of those two things, where we have you know, either sustained move to the downside for a few weeks or a few months, and then we can start flipping bullish, okay, or look for some reversal signs, or, you know, big swing lows to the downside. Now, I don't want to dwell too much on the indicators that we've been talking about, but we spoke about the 50-week moving average and the 100-week moving average playing a pivotal role in our next move to the downside. You can see that we got that twice, and we predicted that this was going to happen, okay? And what we're getting now, perfect breakdown from this 100. We closed below it last week. We're now making our continued move to the downside. So, you know, typically we always move down to the next level, which is going to be over here at this 200-week moving average. So again, I'm looking at this to be the next stop. I'm not sure exactly where we get there, but like I said, just try to make sure that you're extracting the right information from the videos and the people that you are watching, okay? And it's not like a black and white, like, okay, things are looking bearish, I need to sell everything, okay? You need to like be positioned in the market in a way that you can take advantage of both the drops into the upside, and the overall, over time, you are being profitable, okay? So I hope you managed to get some nice take-home points from this video, and yeah, momentum to the downside. Let's see how things play out. I've got like 3 or 4 videos planned out this week. If you want to keep up to date with those, please go ahead and drop me a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video.